Watching Bluey is definitely one of the best ways to relax. But did you know that even though it's one of the best children's shows in recent years, some moments were considered so controversial by Disney that entire scenes were censored, and even full episodes were removed? Among all the censored scenes, some are so absurd that it's hard to believe. A perfect example of this happens in the episode Housework, where Bandit and Chili try to copy the dance moves created by the girls but fail in a hilarious way. During one of these attempts, Chili ends up falling into her husband's arms while trying to mimic a complicated move that Bingo came up with. At first glance, it looks like an innocent and fun scene, right? But Disney didn't see it that way and thought that this funny moment between Bluey's mom and dad might be too dangerous, fearing that kids might try to imitate the move and get hurt. Because of that, in the Disney Plus version, the scene was cut right after Bandit's first spin, skipping directly to a shot of the vacuum cleaner, which was originally supposed to appear later in the episode. However, now the scene has been restored and is being aired again. Seriously? Disney? Do you really think we're too foolish to enjoy a silly dance? And that was just one of many censored moments in Bluey. We've prepared more for you to check out. Today, we're going to reveal some of these unnecessary censorships that you probably had no idea even happened. So, come with us as we uncover more of these mysteries from the amazing world of Bluey. Besides the spins, it seems like Disney isn't too fond of excessive funny faces in the cartoons on their streaming platform. In the episode Mini Bluey, Bingo decides to prove to her sister that she can also be pretty annoying. To do this, she puts on a giant set of fake teeth and sticks a piece of tape on her nose, creating one of the most hilarious and bizarre facial expressions in the entire show. Then, the girls head to the living room to scare Bandit with Bingo's new crazy face. So, we actually get to see the face twice. However, something strange happens in the Disney Plus version. Bingo's creepy face is only shown once, when Bandit is flipping through the newspaper. In other words, the scene still exists, but the second time around, it was removed. Disney decided that showing that hilarious face twice was just too much for audiences. Really? Disney? Is repeating a funny face a problem now? It feels like they're getting pickier and pickier about the most unnecessary things. Now let's talk about an episode that was completely deleted from Disney Plus. Bluey's second season officially has 52 episodes, but on Disney Plus, you'll only find 51. That's because the episode Dad Baby, where Bandit pretends to be pregnant to prove that women exaggerate their complaints about pregnancy, was entirely removed by Disney. Yes, you can search for it on the platform, but you won't find it. It just vanished. Why? According to Disney, the episode was considered controversial. More specifically, the birth scene, where Bingo pulls fur from her dad's belly, was the most problematic. But honestly, we think the exact opposite. The episode presents, in a fun and lighthearted way, how this important part of life works. But, well, this is Disney we're talking about, right? Things don't have to make sense to them. They just have to be censored. The most ironic part? Recently, Bluey's official YouTube channel uploaded the full episode for free, so now anyone can watch it. Nice try, Disney. If you're also against unnecessary censorship of Bluey episodes, comment below, Dad Baby. Another seemingly harmless episode that got censored was Train, which you probably remember. But this time, the reason behind the censorship involves a mix of gross-out humor and a little creativity. Just to refresh your memory, in this episode, Bandit plays the role of a ticket inspector and conductor of an imaginary train. When Bluey hands him her ticket, she suggests that he run it across his entire face, so he does. The problem? Right after that, she reveals that the imaginary ticket was actually a piece of poop. And, of course, this is exactly the kind of joke that kids love to make. Don't you think? The issue is that someone at Disney decided that this joke wasn't appropriate for children, so they asked Ludo to redub the scene, replacing the word poop with slug. Honestly, I wouldn't want to hold either one, but maybe a slug is slightly less disgusting. I don't know about you, but for us, one of the best characters in the show is definitely Bingo. She's always in a good mood and loves making up her own songs. But the youngest healer is even more creative than that, because if there's one thing she loves, it's asking tough questions, especially to her dad, Bandit, who never knows how to answer them. For example, in one episode, while Bluey is coming up with a new game, Bingo and Bandit are sitting alone on the tree swing. And that's when the little pup decides to ask one of the most dreaded questions for any parent. How do babies get inside their mommy's belly? Bandit immediately freezes with a look of pure panic. And, not knowing what to say, lets go of the swing, sending Bingo spinning around until she's completely dizzy. Disney deemed this scene inappropriate and decided to cut it entirely. Now, when you watch it on Disney Plus, the scene jumps straight to Bluey explaining the game, without showing Bingo spinning on the swing at all. This makes the scene completely nonsensical because Bingo suddenly appears dizzy for no reason. So the real question is, was the censorship because of the question or because of the spinning swing? What do you think? By now, it's clear that most of Bluey's censorships are based on pretty silly reasons. But one thing we've definitely noticed is that if there's one topic Disney seems to avoid in their shows, it's babies. And honestly, we have no idea why. This becomes obvious in the episode Perfect, where we see a flashback of Bluey playing with a boomerang with Bandit. During this scene, Bandit and Fabio, Winnie's dad, are having a conversation about a medical procedure. Based on the context, It's pretty clear they're talking about a vasectomy, basically, a procedure that prevents dads from having more babies with moms. It becomes even more obvious when Bandit mentions that Chili still wants to try for another pup. So he hasn't gone through with the surgery yet. This implies that he's already content with the 2 adorable daughters they've brought into the world. Apparently, Disney didn't like this conversation and, once again, asked Ludo to redub the scene, just like they did in the train episode. In the new version, the 2 dads are talking about something completely different, canine tooth extractions. And Bandit even jokes that he's not sure if he should have his teeth removed because he might need to bite someone one day. So, discussions about babies need to be censored, but talking about biting people is perfectly fine? That makes absolutely no sense. And honestly, babies, whether they're human or puppy babies, are always adorable and sweet. The most ridiculous censorship in any cartoon ever is probably the most infamous one, the pony poop scene from the episode Markets. You've probably seen this one somewhere on the internet. But what most people don't know is that this wasn't the only time it happened. In Season 3's Rules of the Game, we see Muffin's birthday party, and guess who shows up? That's right, the famous pony, Butterscotch, the very same one who got censored in Season 1 for pooping. And guess what happens? He poops again. Naturally, Disney censored it once more. But instead of cutting the scene entirely, they simply edited out the poop, making it look like nothing happened at all in the Disney Plus version. Which makes me wonder, why does Disney hate pony poop so much? If you love Bluey, censored or not, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Speaking of number 2, it looks like this is quite a sensitive topic in the house of Mickey Mouse. So much so that another scene related to it ended up being completely cut from the show. This happened in the episode FaceTime. Right at the beginning, Trixie, Muffin's mom, tells Stripe that she'll be busy and asks if he can take care of the girls. He confidently says yes, and then she disappears from the scene without any clues as to what she's going to do, at least until Muffin barges into the bathroom. That's when we finally discover that Trixie was sitting on her throne, casually reading a newspaper in total relaxation. Hey, I don't blame her, after all. The bathroom is a great place for meditation. But Disney didn't see it that way and simply cut Trixie's little privacy invasion. Now, on Disney Plus, the episode continues normally without this brief moment of royal relaxation. Now, to be fair, this censorship didn't come from Disney, it was actually a decision made by Bluey's own creators at Ludo Studio. The episode Exercise is part of the second-to-last batch of episodes in Season 3. At the beginning, Bandit is in the bathroom, stepping on the scale, clearly unhappy with the number he sees. This scene was originally part of the episode's introduction, but after it aired in Australia, Ludo Studio received multiple complaints from parents who found it inappropriate, arguing that it could negatively affect children's self-esteem. After a wave of criticism, the studio decided to remove the introduction entirely, skipping straight to the episode's title sequence. Now, on every streaming platform, this scene is completely gone. And here's a tip for you: drink plenty of water, eat well, and get some exercise. Your body will thank you. Now, for another Disney censorship, this time involving the nationality of certain dogs in the episode Explorers. In this episode, Jack's dad, Jack being Rusty's friend, is lost and can't find the way to his son's school. He stops at a strawberry farm to ask for directions and comes across 2 characters. When he asks them for help, he learns that they're both tourists visiting Australia. One of them, a Doberman, says he's from Argentina, while the other, a Bulldog, says he's from France, sort of like the 2022 World Cup final. But for some unknown reason, Disney asked for this scene to be redubbed. Now, the characters don't mention their nationalities at all, they simply say they're backpackers. But why? These are questions I would really love to have answers to. But since that's not going to happen, the best thing to do is keep watching some really great videos, just like the ones we've got on your screen right now. Check them out and let me know which one you like the most. See you next time.